What's up, everybody? Baby Huey here, and joining me once again is my tag team partner, Tim from Pro Wrestling Unlimited. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. Just, been a while since I've been on with you. Love talking with you and everything. So when you hit me up tonight and you're like, hey, you free? I'm like, yeah, my internet's back on after being off all day. So we're good to go.
Yes. Well, first off, thank you for making the time. Two, it's kind of funny you say that about the power outage. So for me, I flew to Philadelphia last Wednesday. I took a red eye, and that day after I got off the plane, I was getting messages from my internet providers like, "Oh, there's a power outage in the area," and I'm like, "Oh no!" I was like, "Crap, I'm not there."
What day did you leave again? Wednesday, Thursday?
So technically, it was Tuesday night.
Oh, okay.
In the Wednesday morning. So Wednesday, 12:30 a.m.
That's when the bad weather hit.
Yeah. So for anyone that cares about my night, Tuesday night, I went to go see Green Day, my favorite band, at the Fillmore. Special small show for them, a little over 1,200 people there.
Nice.
So went to that show. It was incredible. And then about maybe 3-4 songs left in the set, my brother and I dashed out of there. Thankfully, my dad waited outside, had the car fired up, ready to go. He took us over, dropped us off at SFO, and jumped on the plane for that red eye across the country to get to Philly, and got there Wednesday morning. Nice. And what are 24 hours? Go see Green Day at the Fillmore, and then fly to Philly a couple hours later and start my WrestleMania week there. Really an incredible, fun trip. I'm still just very happy I got to do that and do it with my brother, all that stuff. It was a lot of fun. But with the power outage, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not home with this going on. So I was worried about my dad and could he watch TV? Because now we cut the cord and we're now fully internet, YouTube, TV household now. So
okay, hold on. Here's my question with that.
Yeah,
people always go, I cut the cord. But then you have YouTube TV, and the same thing is you're getting all the same stuff as having regular cable.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the same way. I used to have Comcast with the box.
Yep.
But now I just have YouTube TV so I can watch it anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm still got the same stuff. Other than for some reason YouTube TV doesn't have A&E, and I can't watch the WWE stuff live. But other than that.
And Vice as well. I don't have Vice.
Most don't have Vice, I've realized.
Yeah. So that's for watching Dark Side of the Ring. So for me, we canceled our cable plan about halfway during this current season of Dark Side of the Ring. So I know after the season's done, all the episodes go up on Hulu. So I do have Hulu, so I can
I could teach you the trick here.
And
trust me, I watch them every Tuesday.
If you're watching us on YouTube right now, wink, wink. You can see I know there's ways around that. So, but yes, please teach me your ways. I'm always down to learn the tricks of the trade to watch some of this stuff. But yeah, so it was a incredible trip, so much fun. I don't want to bore the listeners, just about too much when I went on. But it was great to go to WWE World at the Pennsylvania Convention Center in downtown Philly, which is pretty much just Access, but just rebranded as WWE World. They had the Superstore with all the merch and everything in there. And then you walk through and there's just all the memorabilia of WWE artifacts from over the last few decades. So just old championship belts, prop sets. They had panels going on. Pat McAfee was broadcasting his show from there. They had panels where the WWE superstars were talking to the crowd. The Ringer was recording some podcasts there, doing interviews. There was auctions going on. I sat down and Rey Mysterio was with Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze was hosting it. And Rey Mysterio was signing stuff, and they were doing a live stream for people to auction and bid on.
So Breeze and Woods do those all the time with Fanatics, at least once a month, and then they air them live on the Up Up Down Down channel.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, so
that's where AJ spilled the news of I'm having new music in Mania.
Oh, gotcha.
So they had AJ a shirt to sign. And he goes, "Oh, don't want none. They took that from the song." Now, a little heads up, I'm probably gonna have some new tracks in Mania or something like that is what he said.
Okay.
Hey, just got new music, and then everyone hated
it. Nice. So no, it was that was just really cool to see that whole setup there, and just what I'm gonna try to do. I took a lot of photos and videos. I'm gonna try to make a little Instagram reel and TikTok video, a little quick minute collage video of just all the cool stuff I got to see there. So please follow In The Kliq on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. or myself on Facebook, Baby Huey Official, Twitter and Instagram, Baby Huey83. I'll try to post all that stuff there, and you can see kind of like the other stuff I was posting last week. And so that was really cool. Check out the media day. Was really fun to interview the WWE superstars. Thank you, Tim, for editing all those interviews.
Anytime.
They're on our YouTube channel, so please go watch those. Really cool to talk to Kevin Owens. And Tim, as you saw, I got to thank him for getting Stone Cold Steve Austin out of retirement. I didn't get to see Stone Cold wrestle back in the day in his prime, but I finally got to see Stone Cold wrestle 2 years ago in Dallas, Texas. And so I thank Kevin Owens for that. And so
And I like how he goes, every January I ask Sean.
Yes. That was cool. Talked to Damage Control, and I got to tell them, yeah, I'm a Bailey fan. I'm from the Bay Area. We hang at Niner games and stuff like that. And cool to talk to Trick Williams as well, because he's doing big things at NXT right now, and I think he's going to be a big star for years to come. So I wanted to be able to talk to him before he really blew up. So that was by design. Like, I saw his line. I was like, I want to go run and talk to him, because he's going to be a big star for them one day. So
there's the question. I already kind of asked you this.
Yeah.
So the setup for media, before it used to be the wrestlers go from outlet to outlet, right? And now you guys wait in line at the wrestlers?
It was the opposite. So in the past, we would be in a big ballroom in a hotel, and they would have backdrops all around the room, all four walls. And you pretty much just run and claim a spot in front of a backdrop. And so the media people are just surrounding the walls, and the wrestlers would just go down the line talking to one person to next. This year, opposite. So in the middle of the room, they set up a bunch of different backdrops with chairs, and the WWE superstars and NXT superstars would just sit down, and you just line up to who you want to talk to. So it was interesting. Like, Kevin Owens, for example, he had a really long line. And then like someone like, Ivar from the Viking Raiders, he showed up and his line was not as long. So you just pick and choose who you want to talk to. That's kind of gambled, though, is if you want to talk to someone really popular, you might have to wait a little bit longer. You get like 3 minutes to talk to them, and you may or may not talk to them. So let's say there's 15 people in front of you. You're waiting in line for 45 minutes. It's like a Disneyland ride to go talk to that person. And that's the risk. It's like, do you want to try to talk to this bigger name person, or do you want to go talk to maybe some of the not as well-known people, but you might be able to get like maybe 3 interviews knocked out real quick versus standing a long line for one person. So I know some people got 4 or 5 interviews. I only got 3 interviews, but that was by choice, because I wanted people I thought were bigger names. And I was in line for Jade Cargill, and they ran out of time. She had to get out of there, and like there was like 5 people in front of me, so we didn't get to talk to Jade Cargill. But I was so close.
I forget who it was, but someone posted they were in line for LA Knight, and they were like maybe 2 or 3 people ahead of them, and then LA Knight ran off to go fight AJ.
Yes, that was from the media day. So they added an angle. So AJ Styles was doing interviews, and that's the thing. I wanted to go talk to AJ Styles too, but I went to jump into Kevin Owens' line. So, and then LA Knight came in. I was like, oh, cool, LA Knight. I talked to him a couple months ago in February, and I can continue my conversation. But nope, as you saw, LA Knight did one interview, then turn around and start fighting.
Only did one?
Yeah, and it was my buddy Kevin from Sportskeeda out in Chicago. He did the one. He has a great shot on his phone. They were doing like the interview, and then he turned around, threw the chair at AJ, and it started the brawl. And then everyone busted out their phones and was filming the whole fight, and went viral. So, but yeah, I was bummed. So I didn't get to talk to AJ Styles because he got into a fight and was left with a bloody nose. LA Knight, I didn't get to talk to him because he started a fight. So 2 guys I wanted to talk to, I couldn't because they did a little fight angle there. But it was smart because all the media people are going to film it and post it online and add some extra heat to for their upcoming match at Mania. So, so it was a different experience. It was like the opposite in the past. So moving forward, though, like I'm already thinking I need to be a little bit more mobile and like we have like wireless mics now. I don't know. I'm already thinking ahead for the future stuff. But so yeah, you pick and choose who you want to talk to in the line. So, but that was fun. Like I said, Philly, great city. That Reading Market Terminal, great place to eat in there. And SmackDown was so much fun. The Hall of Fame was really cool. And Paul Heyman's speech was amazing. Just if you go watch it on Peacock, I don't want to spoil anything. You probably seen clips online, but yeah, go watch that Hall of Fame speech. Totally worth it. And then Stand and Deliver, NXT Stand and Deliver Saturday morning, and then night 1, night 2, and Raw. It was such an amazing experience. So thank you WWE for everything. And yeah, let's if you couldn't tell by the headline, the title of this podcast, it's our full review of WrestleMania XL. So we're gonna talk about night 1, night 2 together. I want to get it in this week before it gets too late. I'm still was recovering the last few days and traveling, all that, playing catch up at work. So so Tim, I'll kind of let's start big, kind of your overall thoughts of WrestleMania XL, and then we'll kind of work our way down the card and just the matches. But kind of your initial takeaways from WrestleMania XL.
Well, overall, I thought it was super great, successful both nights. I love the fact that they used. So in the past, it's just been like 2 nights of WrestleMania. We have night 1 card, night 2 card, whatever. I love the fact that they used the night 1 main event to build to the night 2 main event. I loved that it was intertwined because for so long we've got this person and this person main event in night 1 and this person main event in night 2. So they're the double main events. But I loved that the main events tied together so you can really see who the real main events. And I've always been the person of, cool, you main event in night 1, but the real main event is night 2.
Yeah.
So for it all to be tied in together, it's like, I like it. I like it a lot. But overall, great show. Had a lot of good matches, a lot of surprises too, like Snoop. So here's my thing. Have you watched the show back at all?
I have not. So my goal is I want to watch it back and see,
Snoop Dogg
on
TV. Commentary?
Yeah. I mean, so up in the press box, they had the video of the
audio,
broadcast. Right? No, there was audio too,
okay.
but it was tough because it's like people are talking in the press box and there's a lot in the crowd. I mean, it's a lot of noise. So I want to be able to sit down from the comfort of my home and watch it again and just hear the commentary and just all the other surprises that happened there. So I'm with you. I need to find time to rewatch it.
I would say commentary was good with Snoop. Pat was better on night 1 than night 2.
Wow. Okay.
Well, here's the thing, and I don't know this for sure, but him and Snoop were alluding to that before the show they were smoking together. And kind of came off that Pat was not as with it as he was on night 1.
I love Snoop Dogg coming out promoting gin and juice, his new drink of his.
Yeah, this is the sponsor of the match and everything.
Yeah, and by the way, that's my dad's favorite Snoop song, Gin and Juice. Everyone got their cup out, but no one wants to chip in. So
overall,
my dad's listening in the other room right now. So you're welcome, Dad.
Overall, I thought it was very good, really successful. And then my one big question is, what the hell is that Usos match?
Yeah, that was like everyone across the board I talked to from the weekend was like, unfortunately, I hate to kind of say it, that was probably the most underwhelming match of the weekend, disappointing part of the weekend, considering a year ago they did the interview with Ariel Helwani and they said their dream was to face each other at WrestleMania. And a year later they had the opportunity and the match just didn't perform.
Their one spot together in the night 2 main event was better than their entire 10-minute match.
Yes, exactly. I'm with you. I agree with you there. Yeah, it was very disappointing, but we'll get into more of that in a second. But no, I'm with you. Overall, amazing weekend. I know, like, the 2 things, the whole new era, which we'll get into in a second. But for me, I don't have recency bias, but I know a lot of people are saying, is this the greatest WrestleMania of all time? That's up for debate. I want more time to pass, and I want to rewatch it on TV just so I can better come to a conclusion. But I will say this, you can easily make the argument, easily top 5 WrestleMania of all time.
Oh, for sure.
I think the bigger thing, and this, you got to separate it, was that the greatest main event of all time? I think that's 2 different things, 2 different distinctions. Was this the greatest WrestleMania of all time versus was that the greatest main event of all time? So I think that's 2 separate discussions to have. Like I said, I want to rewatch it, and for the whole thing, I can figure out if it's better than like WrestleMania X7. That's still to this day the best one.
Are we allowed to say that we like the main event from 20? Are we even allowed to say that?
I
still like that triple threat. I will say that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's a poll question you could put out there. Is like, is it okay? I don't know.
Like I would probably rank that as one of my top 5.
Yeah, I understand.
We're looking just straight main events.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Is like as far as main events alone, just the emotion and it was overbooked but it was a fun overbooking.
Oh yeah,
and the outcome and the emotions and what it symbolized. Cody winning the WWE Championship, and
hey, I cried multiple times. I'll admit it.
Yeah. I mean, the only other top main events, I'm thinking like Hogan Andre WrestleMania 3. I know it's not the best wrestling match, but the symbolism, how epic it was. Hogan versus the Giant and the body slam, and think about in the 80s what that meant, the symbolism and the audience that was there and the TV watching, like the impact that had, and really helping WWF go on throughout the late 80s and 90s. Austin Rock, WrestleMania 17. Some people, don't like it because Austin all turned heel and aligned himself with Mr. McMahon. WrestleMania 19, Austin Rock, it was Austin's last match. He finally put the Rock over. Rock finally got his win over Austin. I mean, that's a great debate. It's like, what is the greatest WrestleMania main event? But Cody, Roman, this one is definitely up there. So it's that's a great debate to have.
You bring up 19, and I bet you if Brock didn't almost kill himself, you could put that one pretty high up.
Oh yeah, that's right. I mean,
him and Kurt.
That the shooting star press, God. Yeah. I mean, you see those old clips at OVW, he was landing them perfectly, and of course,
just slightly too far out.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, you're right.
And I think Brock has even said the ropes were a little slippery.
Oh man, that's scary to think about. But the other big takeaway, it was definitely, I think, WWE's message. Its big message this weekend was out with the old, in with the new. This is a new era in WWE.
Oh, yeah.
They really pressed it hard from the new video intro for Then, Now, Forever Together, like the whole new graphics, like the space. It felt like an MCU intro.
Did you notice there's even like a after the show video in the similar format as well?
Oh no, I got to check that out.
Basically, it's the same style and looks the same, and it's Triple H saying, I don't know verbatim, but he's like, that was a WWE production or something like that. Like more like like you'll see when you watch the NFL, or like you see when you watch NASCAR, you go, that was a production of the NFL media or whatever. All rights, one of those style videos you'll see at the end of a football game or a baseball game or a NASCAR race or something. At the end
Gotcha. Okay, well, now I have to check that one out. It's
more of the Lee-fitting real sports feel.
Gotcha. Yeah, and then Triple H came out night one to say, welcome to WrestleMania, which in the past that was Vince McMahon's role, but Triple H. Yeah,
and I've seen a lot of people say exactly the same thing you did. I only ever remember Vince doing that at WrestleMania 3.
The red bow tie.
Yeah.
Well, he did it in Tampa Bay in 2021, right?
Because of the COVID thing.
So yeah.
But it's like I only remember like those 2 Manias. Maybe there's one more.
I gotta think back. I know Stephanie did in 2020 from the PC. And that's Now it was cool seeing Stephanie McMahon make her public appearance. She was at the Hall of Fame wearing the ECW leather hat, which going back to the Invasion days, she was the owner of ECW, and so great callback there with during Paul Heyman's speech. So it's cool to see her make a public appearance, and then she came out night 2 and shout out Triple H. This is the Paul Levesque era, that he's fully in charge of creative. I was sitting next to Keith Greenberg, amazing writer, night 1, and the messages here was like WWE is really trying to say Vince is no longer with us or doing stuff affiliated with or has control over the product now. It's new hands. This is Triple H's baby and the other powers that be that work with him. So that was a big message. So, it was the really start of a new era, with that being said.
With that, what do you think of Ronda Rousey's comments of, well, as long as Bruce is still there, Vince has got an ear in the game, or something like that? I don't think it's true, and she's just trying to get, attention.
Yeah, and I mean, and I'm sure Triple H can veto him. Like
Yeah.
Bruce can say whatever, either it's his own opinion or idea, or is it coming from Vince by text or something, wherever, how they communicate. But ultimately Triple H can like say, okay, yay or nay on that idea. I mean, you know, it's Bruce can just suggest stuff, but it's ultimately Triple H's decision what they work with. So, which was interesting to see Bruce make an appearance after Cody's celebration. Well, Cody told him to come out, so that was a whole separate thing we could talk about as well. But yeah, that was the big takeaway. It was like it's really start of a new era, and you know, I'm excited. And let me ask you this real quick. I think the big talking point the last few weeks was like, what's the name of this new era now?
Right.
I think the symbolism of not only Cody winning, it's the start of a new era, but also the fact that Roman lost the title. Like he was, you can say, he was Vince McMahon's last champion. So now the title's off Roman. You know,
because when you think about it, Triple H had the call of Cody's going to win last year, and Vince is the one that vetoed it. So calling Roman Vince's last world champion is super fitting when he literally vetoed Cody winning the belt last year.
Yep, exactly. So I think Roman losing is also symbolism. This is the end of the Vince McMahon era. That's his last champion. We're done. Let's move on. And you know, maybe on a separate podcast, you know, when we have some more time, can maybe like reflect on Roman's title reign, what it meant, all that stuff. We can save that for another time. But yeah, that was my big takeaway. It was a really start of a new era. But yeah, what's the new era called? There's the different
Triple H era is weird because they've never named an era after a person.
Exactly. Or the Paul Levesque era. I mean, Paul Heyman referenced that in the Hall of Fame speech. Cody Rhodes said the Renaissance era in an interview recently.
Oh, I didn't hear that one.
So I don't know if it's with Ariel Helwani or not, the MMA hour, but a lot of people are like, oh, that's kind of fitting. It's coming from Cody, and it's the Renaissance era. So rock and roll era in the 80s, new generation, attitude era, ruthless aggression era, PG era. What's this era? And so...
Well, if you think about it, WWE never laid into the name PG era. Fans. They did all the other ones. They've referenced all the other names, but yeah, because that was my whole thing. It's like, has it really been technically the ruthless aggression era since 2002 all the way to now?
No, yeah, exactly. No, you're right. So yeah, no, I'm curious, you know, what they're gonna go with moving forward, if they're gonna fully acknowledge a name for this era, or is this another fan?
We usually don't get the name till the era's about over, anyways. So it's like we gotta see what happens in these next couple of years and however long the era actually lasts. What was the Attitude Era? 7 years, 6 years, something like that.
That's a great topic. I mean, you could. I think a lot of people say
when did it end?
I think a lot of people say the Attitude Era started in '96 ish, roughly, kind of when Brett, Shawn, DX, and all that stuff was taken up. Austin was starting his ascent. And a lot of people say it ended in 2001 when Austin and McMahon aligned and McMahon bought WCW.
Right. That's what I would say.
I would kind of lean in. You can argue maybe even up to like
after the invasion.
03 when Austin retired. Like that was it. But
that makes a lot of sense. Austin retires. Hogan's on the outs. The NWO finishes up. Rock's leaving and no longer full time. But 03 would probably make more sense now that you say that.
So yeah, I mean, 4 to 7 years. That's kind of like how long the Attitude Era was. So it's gonna be interesting to see, how they go moving forward. I'm excited. WWE's hot right now. I mean, they're selling out arenas, biggest payday ticket sales. I mean, now the sets are smaller right now to add more tickets.
That's exactly what I was going to get to. I don't know if you see the news the last few days. That set that they used for SmackDown, NXT, Stand and Deliver, and Raw, according to PW Insider, over the weekend, their report was WWE is going to use this set more when they feel like they can sell more tickets. Then today, PW Insider came out and said, "Oh wait, no, WWE's changed their mind. This is the new television setup. Going forward." And really, it gives me UFC vibes because it gives me the vibe of when you watch UFC and you see the wrestler walk out the tunnel and there's just everybody around them.
Yeah.
Now with WWE, you see the wrestler walk out the tunnel and everybody's around them.
Yeah, I like that visual, and it's cool. Like the screen's big enough where you can still have like the bright colors and lights and graphics. But
every building they're going to go to has a Tron above the ring.
Yeah, but I do miss the Titantron. Like the Titantron
Right.
Attitude Era means a lot to me.
Exactly.
So no, I to me that's always cool with the wrestlers' graphics there. With I was gonna say with the Titantron, it's just cool when they walk out, and so it's I like the Titantron
Right.
with the graphics and the display, but what am I saying? I'm trying to say like the way it's set up right now, it's very almost like you could be viewed very simple, which is pros and cons to it. Like I said, it's cool with the graphics and people walk out in the crowd behind them, but at the same time with the big stage, it kind of makes it feel like a bigger deal. So I don't know. There's pros and cons to it.
They referenced it on both Raw and SmackDown when Kevin Owens was like, I hear Logan Paul talking, but I don't see him. Oh, he's way down there because I can only see that small little screen. And then
okay.
So, and then Triple H on Raw was like, hey, I got a video I want Cody to watch, but we don't have the big screen anymore. So we got these bootleg TVs set up around the ring.
That's, okay, I saw that. Okay. So I don't know. There's pros and cons to it. Like, listen, at the end of the day, if you can sell more tickets, obviously, make more money. That's the goal. Who cares about a big screen? Like, take the big screen down if you can sell more tickets and make more money. It's a business at the end of the day. But like, I am a fan of the Titantron and like what it symbolizes, like the walkway. I like the old school Attitude Era design. I mean, kind of the latest one that they had, I felt was like too big, like too big of like a movie screen, and it just felt very plain.
The thing I liked, and granted, you're right there where it can look plain at times, but the thing that I liked about the huge screen that I feel like they didn't utilize enough is if you utilize the graphics on that screen in the right way, it could actually make it look really cool. Because like if you see like Gunther's entrance, for instance, on one of those big screens where it's black and then it's got pillars, it literally looks like they set up pillars and everything, and he's
like a huge set. Yeah. Well, no, that's I remember what my train of thought was. I'm cool with that for Raw and SmackDown. I still wish Raw and SmackDown would have different sets to really separate the two brands.
Right.
I wish they would bring back custom sets for the pay-per-views or premium live events. Listen, I get it. It's cheaper to use a big screen and create that setting, like what you just mentioned with Gunther and Imperium with the pillars, versus maybe actually building pillars for a show. I get it's cheaper to do the graphic version.
So, in speaking of all of that, not to get too far away from the WrestleMania topic, WWE actually put out info this week about all their production upgrades from cameras they're using in the venues and whatnot. The new studio that they built at their headquarters. And next week, on that whole topic of the new studio, I don't know if you've ever heard of NAB. It's a big technology convention in Las Vegas. WWE is going to have a panel next week talking about all the cool things that they've added to their studios in Stamford. And they're going to have people from Sony there as well, because so I don't know if you've ever seen The Volume that Lucasfilm and Disney and stuff uses, where it's like a circular screen or whatever you would call it. And wherever the camera looks, graphics and stuff on the screen move. And like, you've watched Mandalorian, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mandalorian is filmed in a studio, and that's all a screen with video game technology and Unreal Engine to make it look like they're actually out in the desert. And WWE has a similar studio setup now through Sony. They're the first company in the United States to have that set up. WWE has a similar setup now in Stamford.
So does that mean when they're filming stuff, they can create like
they can make it look like they're in any place they want?
Wow.
Like the last Thor movie, Thor Love and Thunder, filmed a lot in what's called The Volume.
So it's like a giant room, like green screen all around.
Well, instead of a green screen, it's not a green screen, it's an actual screen. And I'll send you a video of it later.
Okay, really yeah, please do.
Because wherever like the camera looks, the graphics and everything created on the screen for the background adjusts and moves to where the camera's looking. And Sony has a similar setup, and WWE is the first studio in the US to have Sony's set up.
Wow. Okay, I got you now. Wow.
Plus they bought like $80,000 Sony cameras, Sony cinema cameras as well.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, man, the possibilities now are kind of pretty amazing what they can do with all that.
And then the last nerdy thing here, when they're doing those shots, everyone goes, "Oh, it's the 8K camera," where you see the cool like blurred background and everything.
Yeah.
A $3,100 Sony camera as well.
I noticed that with the Sami Zayn Gunther intros.
I did it with Bailey and Io as well.
Yeah, like when they're in the ring and like focus on Sammy in the background was kind of blurred out. I noticed that in the TV in the press box.
Can't remember the name now. It's a Sony A7 II something or whatever. Wow. But I looked it up. It's a little over $3,000 camera for just the body without the lens.
Man, okay, well, I cannot wait to see what else they can accomplish in this new era of WWE programming.
Said it at the press conference. We got more technological things coming, but we don't want to throw it all at you at once. We're slowly rolling it out.
Yep, that's a smart way to do it because if you do it all at once, people are going to freak out and like it's like ripping off a Band-Aid too early, and people are going to be like, "Oh no, I don't like this,"
or it gets too normalized too quickly, and then it's just like, "Oh, okay, that was cool last week."
But yeah, you kind of make adjustments over time. But no, the production value really was great at WrestleMania. And even with the adjustments they've been doing on Raw and SmackDown. Not to jump ahead to Raw this week, but it was cool when Rhea got beat up by Liv Morgan and Dominic was helping her. And he said, "Hey, get out of here." And he slapped the camera and the camera just turned and went down the hall right out to the
next shot.
The next shot. That was so smooth.
And then they're implementing that in NXT now as well. I don't know if you saw NXT this week, where literally they're like, "Welcome to NXT at the Performance Center." It's like a shot of outside of the Performance Center, and then the camera like swoops down, goes in the front door of the PC, and then around into the arena area.
Really cool. It's really cool stuff. So, all right, let's jump into WrestleMania. We got 2 nights to talk about. We got 13 matches. We'll power through them. If you guys watch this show, you know pretty much the ins and outs, who won, all the big stuff here. We'll give our takeaways here. So night 1 kicked off. You know, I said after Triple H came out, got the crowd hyped up. Welcome everyone. Saw the new video intro. That was really cool. And then first match, Rhea Ripley defending the Women's World Championship against Becky Lynch. I love this. I got a mini concert there. Motionless in White, one of my favorite bands, which they do the theme song for Rhea Ripley. Yep. They played her out to the ring. She looked so excited.
Okay, so here's my question to you, because I don't. Yes. I've heard the band before, but how long have they been together? Because she said something about they've been her favorite band since high school.
Yeah, no, they've been, because I've interviewed Chris Motionless twice. I interviewed him at the Warped Tour years ago and at the Aftershock Festival. So, and then last time I saw him was at Aftershock a couple years ago, and the Rhea Ripley theme song just came out. And I talked to him, and he says, "I'm such a big fan of her." But they've been, and it's cool because they're also from Pennsylvania. They're from Scranton, so Philly, you know, all Pennsylvania.
They all played together. Yep.
Yeah. They've been around, says here on Wikipedia, 04. So
wow.
I mean, Rhea's in what, her late 20s now. So yeah. 10 years ago could have been high school for her. So makes sense. So but it's cool. They did her theme song live. She was headbanging. The volume was mixed pretty good. I know the live performances when a band plays at WrestleMania, it could be hit or miss how it's mixed, especially outdoors. But for Motionless and White playing in front of 70,000 plus people, that's cool for them. But Rhea was so happy, headbang, walking down to the ring, just singing along. It's just so cool.
She said about 2 hours before that, she had a full-on panic attack.
Really? Why is that?
She just said that she got nervous, and she's like, if I didn't have that, then I knew that it didn't mean as much to me. She's like, if I didn't get nervous, like she was like, if I don't get nervous before a big match, then I know that I've gotten complacent. It's just something along those lines.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
She said 2 hours before the match, she legit had a full-on panic attack.
Wow, man.
And then did you hear about Becky?
So I like I said, the commentary, like the volume is in and out, like in the press box, how loud it is. I heard them say 102 fever, and then now afterwards I heard strep throat.
Strep throat for multiple days before the event, and high of 100 to 103 fever.
God, I mean, because you think about the last couple of weeks up to that point, not only doing her job, building this match
she was on the road every day.
On the road every day, doing press for her new book that came out the week before, which that was one of my interviews last week. If you're watching on YouTube, scroll down, watch my interview with Becky Lynch. But her new book is out. So she was doing a ton of press. So I'm sure she was just burnt out. And when you're burnt out, your immune system's down, you're more vulnerable for germs. And so, I felt bad for her, but I'm not shocked because just how much she's been overworking. So the match itself went pretty much as we thought. Rhea Ripley kind of dominated. Becky put up a good fight. I think, the story they were telling on Raw for a while now, she was like fighting every week, but she was kind of breaking down, and Rhea was doing the opposite, hardly wrestling and telling Becky, "You just keep wrestling because you're gonna use that as an excuse if I beat you that your body just broken down." But the match itself, let's see, Rhea landed on her feet and hit the riptide, the top turnbuckle, hit a third riptide for the pinfall and to retain the title. So great opener. I kind of wonder if Becky was at full health.
Well, that's what I was wondering too. Yeah.
Yeah, could have been a little bit better. But yeah, I don't know what your thoughts on this opening match here.
I thought it was fun. I loved the callback with the Avalanche Riptide for how she beat Charlotte Flair. I thought that was really cool to bring that move back because that's how she won a year ago. And she has now held the title for over a year because it would have been April 2nd was the 1 year mark.
Yep.
But yeah, no, you could tell they're both women. Now again, you could see it looked like they were both trying their hardest, but we don't know with Becky because could she have done better, like you said? Probably, maybe. I don't want to say for her because we don't know if maybe she was just on the outside of the illness, if she was still really sick and fought through it and so forth. But like if they would have never said on commentary, Becky's been sick all week, you would have never known because she didn't sing. She didn't seem like she was down a cylinder or anything.
Exactly. And then where they go from here, Rhea Ripley,
Liv Morgan.
I think, I mean, jumping ahead to the Raw after Mania, we saw Liv Morgan return and threw a chair at Rhea Ripley, attacked her. So it looks like that's gonna be her next program.
Yep.
So is Liv gonna be the one to dethrone her? Who knows? You know, do you wait and like call up someone from NXT and make a new star to beat Rhea Ripley down the road? I mean, that's a whole separate speculation we can get into down the road, but
real quick, just think Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez.
But
it would be a great match.
It would be,
and the visual there.
I'm not a fan of
5'10" Rhea, 5 whatever Roxanne.
Which, by the way, I'm not a fan of her as a heel right now. I think it's not working.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, we'll get to later. Next up was for the undisputed WWE Tag Team titles. It was a 6-pack ladder match. Funny video, pretty deadly. It's cool. They got to be on WrestleMania in a video package talking about all the tag teams there. So this match, we had Judgment Day, DIY, New Day, Awesome Truth, A-Town Down Under, and New Catch Republic. Ladder matches at WrestleMania normally deliver. Very fun. A lot of fun spots here. Very interesting how this match played out as far as for the undisputed tag titles. Both sets, the Raw and SmackDown, hung on their different rungs separately. And as commentators said, you win the match once both tag titles, sets of tag titles have been pulled down.
The match ends when both titles are down.
So we ultimately saw the titles split up finally. They're no longer just one tag team having all the belts. So ultimately saw A-Town Down Under early in the match, climb up, get the SmackDown titles, and then DIY put them through a table on the outside. So that eliminated them kind of for the rest of the match. And then Awesome Truth were able to get the Raw tag title. So now we have 2 separate tag teams for each brand now. Fun match with a lot of spots, obviously just a lot of over top stuff. But yeah, what are your thoughts on how this ladder match played out?
Give me the hot tag.
Yes. R-Truth, God, I'm so happy for him. He's getting his flowers now. People love him. He's a national treasure. So much fun.
7 years old, and he doesn't look a day over 40.
He looks amazing. But yes, the hot tag.
Someone asked me, how old do you think Truth is? I would go, early 40s.
Yeah.
Not almost 60.
I know, I'm shocked. But yeah, he's doing incredible stuff.
I thought the match was super fun. Really, it was 2 matches in one. Because if you watch, you have your first tag ladder match, and then, Theory and Waller pull the tag titles down. Then the second match starts with all the carnage and the wreckage. Freaking Ciampa jumping off the top with the air raid crash. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I was scared for a second because the way they showed the angle on TV looked like Ciampa's leg from like the knee down or whatever was under himself. And I'm like, oh, hopefully he didn't just break his leg. He was fine, though. He was fine. He was back doing squats and stuff. Then what was it? Tyler Bate, I think it was, took the DDT through the tables, landed right on the top of his head.
I know. That was when Johnny took out Austin Theory. Was Austin Theory? Yeah, on the table on the outside. I was like, landing on the heads. It was total chaos. Like I said, a lot of fun here. it was interesting. Like once the SmackDown titles were taken out pretty soon, and that's the thing too. Theoretically, you could grab one set of titles, and you could still go after the other ones. Yeah, they could have won them both, but I think it was a smart move to take them out.
To show us that it's possible, and I liked that. I liked that they grabbed the one, and immediately Theory was like, "Wait, we can try and grab those other ones too, really quick." So I did like that.
Yes,
that they showed us, hey, yeah, we're splitting these titles. Like you can see how far apart they are, but there is still that chance that one team wins them both. So I really like that. And I mean, clever way to split the belts up, because everyone was always asking, how are they going to split them up? What's the way they do it? This was, I think, the best way to do it, because everything else would have been like, well, that team only wants to challenge for one, or that team only wants to challenge for one. So putting them both on the line in a ladder match, I think, was a very clever way to split them up. We got, R-Truth and The Miz got tagged. I've seen so many people going, so happy for Truth. Why do they have to put a title on The Miz?
I know. It's a callback to their old tag team.
I've always liked The Miz. That's my thing. I've never hated Miz. I've always been a fan.
The thing with Miz, he's been a great company guy, very reliable. He's a safe worker. He's not going to injure anyone. I know his working style is very simple, but it doesn't hurt anyone. Does a ton of press. Great ambassador for the company. Who knows if this is his last title ever for the company? He's in his early 40s now, so where his career is going to go, who knows? But it's a great, I think, maybe thank you for both of them, for him and R-Truth, for their work. Yeah,
I think it was the greatest payoff of who's going to take titles off of the New Day. I mean, R-Truth has had that storyline with the Judgment Day. R-Truth had that storyline with the Judgment Day for so long. It was very fitting that he was one of the ones to take the titles away, and then show up on Raw. I brought the titles back to Judgment Day.
I know. That was great. The shot of Damian Priest and Rhea holding their titles, and then R-Truth pops up with them, and then it led to the 6-man tag. And R-Truth is like, I got a 6th person. You just can't see him right now. And Miz like, what? We need someone. And Little Jimmy. And then sure enough, John Cena shows up at the end, is their third partner in that match. And very cool. R-Truth and his all-time favorite wrestler, his hero, John Cena.
He said on the McAfee show, he goes, I've been watching John Cena since I was a kid. Saturday mornings, waking up, and Miz looks at him like, you're older than me.
So it's just great callback, and they actually had a match together, and they picked up the win. So no, very happy. But so they're the Raw tag team titles. Now I hope the tag team divisions for both shows. Let's get back on track. Let's build up tag teams on both shows. You got a lot of tag teams now, and they could do some, I think, fresh new storytelling.
I don't know what the storyline is with the SmackDown tag titles, but I think it was either Theory or Waller. One of the two sent out a tweet today going, "Hey, by the way, your tag champs ain't coming to SmackDown tomorrow," or something like that as part of a storyline. Whatever they're doing.
Oh my god! So I mean, but like, there's so many like Pretty Deadly, Pete Dunne and Bate. I mean, there's so many tag teams on both shows they can work with.
The rumor that Braun Breaker finished up with NXT this week, but there's a rumor that they've liked him and Baron Corbin together so much that they may just bring him up as the tag team on SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, not to jump ahead, but they did announce a draft coming up end of April, so that could be a fun topic.
Even without the draft, Braun already signed that SmackDown contract.
Yeah, exactly. Him and Jade both signed SmackDown. So I would imagine they're not kayfabe eligible for the draft. Like, if I'm Nick Aldis as the GM, I'll be like, I just signed these two. They're not they're eligible for the draft. So, but same thing for Raw. Fresh new tag team opponents there. And then there's been reports or rumors of new designs for each tag titles coming in the near future.
We've heard those for like 2.5, 3 years almost now. Like at one point it was like the titles are done and it's just a matter of when they want to use them. So maybe now's the time eventually soon.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. Let's just mix it up. Like, I don't like those red and blue straps and like the silver plates. They look very toyish. Like, I want gold. Give me some gold. So next up it was Andrade, Rey Mysterio, taking on Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. So this match, kind of came together very last minute on SmackDown. With Dragon Lee was supposed to be Rey's partner. He got beat up, taken out. We don't know by who. I still think it's Carly.
he's very upset with Ray right now.
Exactly.
He takes out Dragon Lee, probably hoping that he gets in the match, and then Ray goes, "Hey, Andrade said he'll team with me." Oh, what the?
And then it's cool on SmackDown on the Go Home show. Andrade, like Dominic, was like, "Hey, aren't you going to help me beat up my dad?" And he's like, "No."
Yeah.
And he helps Ray take out Dominic and Santos. And then Ray was like, "I want you to tag with me at WrestleMania."
Now I hope Andrade's done with all this, because I don't like the fact that all the Mexican wrestlers are just lumped together.
Yeah.
And I think Andrade is good enough and a big enough name that he could be on the other brand doing his own thing and being successful.
Exactly. I think Andrade's a phenomenal wrestler. I want to see him have his own path. But we did see, was on SmackDown, Ray thanked him for helping, and Zelina got excited. So I wonder, it was very emotional. So I wonder if that's how they're going to get Zelina back managing Andrade like their NXT days. So that'd be cool. But the match, very fun. Ultimately, we saw a couple luchadors in masks come out and help Ray and Andrade. Sure enough, it was Jason Kelsey and the other guy from the Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. So they come out and make the save, and the baby faces go over here, defeat Dom and Santos Escobar. You know, I kind of wanted Dom to get the win, like get a win over his dad, because Ray got the win last year in LA to kind of keep the feud going, and maybe they have a third and final match next year at Mania. But this match, I think, was more or less just to get the celebrity involvement here. That's really what it was. But anything else about this match that really stood out for you?
So when they told Jason Kelsey, you're going to be a luchador under a mask, he really learned how to be a luchador. He jumped from the apron over the top rope.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God. He really took this "you're a luchador" thing serious.
I know they're two big offensive linemen, but damn, they look like giants in that ring. I'm sure Triple H is like, oh, can these guys wrestle?
Well, that's the thing. They were very, very happy. The word is they were very happy with Jason Kelsey. He's a huge wrestling fan and wants to do more.
Wow.
So, I mean, the story is that they were reached out to.
Okay.
And they were told WWE wants you to do something, but weren't told exactly what. So they reached out and went and trained for a couple of days at the Monster Factory. So they had the lay of the land of being in a ring and not just going in there super, I don't know what the heck I'm doing at all.
Okay, that's cool then.
So Lane Johnson talked about this a little bit on the McAfee show Monday and was like, yeah, so we got the word that they wanted us to do something at WrestleMania. And Jason was like, hey, let's go reach out to this place that they can maybe at least let us in the ring and show us exactly
comfortable.
So that was really cool. But yeah, word is WWE is very happy with it, the engagement that they got on social media and all the attention, and that he wants to do more and that they would probably be up for it if the right circumstances prevail. And since he's now a retired football player, his schedule's wide open.
Didn't Johnson say he dropped 15 pounds too? Or was it Kelsey? One of them dropped 15 pounds.
Lane Johnson said on McAfee that he dropped like 15 pounds in like 2 weeks or something like that.
Wow. Get TV ready. But here's the other thing too. I'm sure for them, they want Jason Kelsey, get involved. Then hopefully maybe that's a way Travis Kelsey shows up, and then maybe
that's be my next question to you, because a lot of people were like on social media, why wasn't it both Kelsey brothers? Why did it have to be this Lane Johnson guy? You really think Philadelphia fans, and granted, there's a lot of non-Philadelphia fans at WrestleMania, Philadelphia fans would have liked to see a Kansas City Chief in their building?
But I'm sure for WWE, like, okay, we can get Jason Kelsey.
Yeah, like
maybe we'll get his brother Travis, and then maybe that's how we get Taylor Swift to show up at our show. I mean, they want the triple package of all three of them. Right. So yeah, we shall see. I'm all for it. Jason. He's a very funny guy. I know he's like a really funny, dry sense of humor on their podcast. So he seems like a fun guy to be around. He took his shirt off and goes crazy. So next up, match that I think you and I both agree with, unfortunately, was probably the most underwhelming from the weekend. It was the Uso brothers against each other. Jay versus Jimmy. This match was just super kick after super kick.
Kind of 9 in the 10-minute match.
And then at the very end, Jimmy was trying to act like, oh, I'm sorry. And then
that really pulled me out of the match entirely. When he did that and he's like, no, I'm sorry, don't hit me. And then Jay's like, oh, okay, we're cool now. And then, And
then Jimmy revealed psych, but then Jay ultimately, was able to super kick him and then do a spear and hit the splash for the win. So Jay wins. I just kind of wonder what they could have done to really amplify this match, spice it up. I don't know if it needed a stipulation or it just was a very simple match, but it didn't really like that emotion get there.
Could we maybe think, and maybe I'm overthinking it, this isn't the end and there's going to be another Jimmy Jay match? Maybe. Jimmy screws Jay out of the world title match. He screwed him out of the IC title match. Jay's the new number one contender for Damian Priest. Maybe Jimmy screws him again, and that's when we get the bigger, better, hopefully better brother match.
Maybe it's SummerSlam. They can build towards that, or one of the PLEs coming up. Yeah. So
make them the finals of the King of the Ring or something.
Yeah, as we saw at the Raw after Mania, Jay was in the main event, won the Fatal 4-Way, the new number one contender for Damian Priest's World Heavyweight titles. But they didn't say when that match is going to happen. But yes, I'm with you. I can see maybe Jimmy revenge cost him that match as well and could lead to a rematch and maybe for their own just redemption they could prove to everyone they can do a good match. But so we'll see how it goes. I wish them the best for that. Next up, 6-woman tag, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi taking on Damage Control, which is Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. Damage Control, very badass entrance with their gear and just the whole presentation. But Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, Naomi's entrance, like coming down, it reminded me like a Destiny's Child concert or something. It was so cool.
Okay, so here's my thing with that entrance. Jade's supposed to be Storm. Bianca was Cyclops. What was Naomi? Raiden from Mortal Kombat?
I have to go back and look closely.
With the big hat.
yeah. So they come down like off this stage, like drawn down, but it was like total cool rock star concert vibe.
So according to Bianca, Naomi was scared. She's like, Naomi did not like the heights. We did the run through beforehand, and Naomi was just shaking.
I'm afraid of heights too, so I understand.
There's a good wind gust too.
Saturday night was much colder than Sunday. Sunday, the sun came out during the day. Finally, it was warming up, and it was actually warmer nighttime. Press box had the windows open. Okay. Saturday, the windows were closed. That's how the cold difference was. But Saturday was much colder.
And speaking of the cold and everything, and you probably, I don't know if you saw all the press conference stuff. Naomi said, she goes, once I get all my stuff on with all those batteries and the glowing lights, I'm actually pretty warm.
And also, is the ring warm? Like they have technology.
So technically, they did this a couple of years ago as well when they were in the Northeast I want to say maybe WrestleMania 35 for MetLife Stadium or whatever. Yeah, they have heaters under the ring. Okay, that kind of keep it so the mat and everything, like the steel of the ring and all that, doesn't get too cold. And because I assume. This is just my knowledge of steel and whatnot. The colder it gets, the stiffer it's going to get. So you're going to have less play with the ring and everything.
Gotcha. Yeah. So they look amazing coming down to the ring. Just their whole aura and presentation. Great match for Jade as far as protecting her still. She's still learning and training with WWE, but have her in the corner, get that big hot tag, come in, get the big beat down, and I got to shout out Damage Control. If you watch closely, I was looking at the monitors. You could see like Dakota Kai calling spots, and all three of them were selling and like making Jade Cargill look like $1 million. Like I said, they were amazing ring generals in there, calling spots, working it out, telling Jade. You can see like some parts like telling Jade what to do. Selling for her, making her look amazing. So I want to give Damage Control their flowers as far as making this match really good for Jade's debut.
So you're not mad at Kairi like Mark Henry?
No. First off, Kairi's a heel, and she they came in. She was like kind of like dancing / kind of like rubbing her face. She's a heel, but it wasn't even. It was like what? Barely 2 seconds, and she jumped out right after.
So for anybody that don't get the joke, Mark Henry was doing a busted open little live thing, and basically said Kairi Sane disrespected the entire business because she didn't get out of the ring before the baby faces got in for their entrance. He's like, it's a respect thing. You disrespected the business. He's like, if it was me, I would have effing kicked her out of that ring. And he started like cussing up a storm. He was dropping F-bombs, and he was like, she disrespected the business. She should have got out of that ring before they got down there. It's their entrance. They're the baby face. And I'm like, whoa, calm down, Mark.
He's just, we live in a world, wrestling media world, where we're always trying to find a hot take to get clipped and get viral and get attention. When I saw it, it was just Mark Henry trying to get some publicity for himself and bust it open. Like that's how I viewed it. It was like, calm down, dude. Like, and Dakota Kai came to Kyrie's defense, said like, Kyrie loves this business, respects this business. She tweeted that out. So Mark, calm down, man. Go put on a pink robe or something. So that salmon jacket of his. But yes, Jade, when she came in with the hot tag,
good.
Yeah, she looked really good. She
kudos to Natty. Natty's been training her.
Oh, that's who. Okay,
so she's been going down and training in Natty's little whatever they want to call it. Natty's
TJ,
dungeon.
The one TJ has as well.
They basically said, Natty said it before. I don't care what wrestling company you work for. Come down. You want to get in a ring? Come get in our ring if you're in the area.
Yeah, because Brody Jr. Is that where he trains at Liv Morgan? All that.
There a lot with them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Nia was still getting reps in when she wasn't with WWE and in her little out phase. She was still down there. She would post like TikToks. She was like her, Apollo Crews, Moose, and stuff.
Nice. So
Natty said it before, like anyone wants to come train on our dungeon, come down and let's do it.
That's awesome. Good for her. But Jade hit the glam slam on it was Dakota Kai and got the pinfall. So Jade and her team won.
Did it the right way. She didn't just like grab her and slam her. She grabbed her, walked around with her to show her strength. I like that.
Yep.
Accentuate your positives.
And Dakota Kai, was selling it like, oh my God, oh my. I mean, it worked out great. Jade, God, she had a squash match against Chelsea Green on the Raw after Mania.
That was great.
Yeah. So Jade, she's gonna be money for them for months and years to come. And I'm very excited to see what they do next for her. Next up, IC title match: Gunther defending against Sami Zayn. Love the backstage video. Sammy talking to his wife, talking to his son. Says, I'll be right back, son. Telling his wife, don't let him watch. Like put him away in the other room. And he's been playing this whole underdog thing. Talked to Chad Gable, and Chad's like pumping him up, kind of like the Rocky. I would say Rocky 3, Rocky 4 elements involved here. Like
I feel like Gable was both Apollo and Mickey at the same time.
Exactly. And then Sammy, the production guy, he's walking towards the ring, going through Gorilla, and the camera's following him. And at the very end, he cuts the corner and sees Kevin Owens there, and he's just. He's like, what's up? And then gives him a big hug and says, go out there, and like pumps him up. And Sammy goes.
Oh, good.
Now, did you hear the rumor that Sammy did not know Kevin was going to be there? Like that was a total.
Yeah, I heard that.
So if that's true, that is awesome. Like that's Sami Zayn's genuine reaction. Like, oh my God, my best friend's here to wish me good luck. I had no idea. So that was cool. And so, the match itself, it pretty much one-sided, Gunther dominating him, beating him up, but then Gunther getting cocky, talking to Sammy's wife ringside, kind of getting distracted.
I loved the way they integrated Sammy's wife here. I thought it was done so perfectly.
And then Sammy grabbed Gunther, hit a brainbuster on the turnbuckle. Like he hasn't done that in a long time. So bust that out.
2012.
Yeah. So that was like, oh my God. Everyone popped like, oh, he did it. And then
this was technically their second ever match. They had a match in Germany back in like 2011, 2012 before Sammy came to WWE.
Oh, nice. Okay. That's awesome. And then Gunther was in the corner. Sammy hit him with the haluva kick. And then we call it the Yakuza. Am I saying that right? Let's see. Yakuza kick? Let's see. Connecting.
Because he's got the haluva kick in the corner.
Yeah, let's see. Before connecting the killing blow with the Yakuza kick, this is what the write up here was saying. The right finish. Hit the
Yakuza kick.
Yeah, but no, anyway, he hit the haluva kick and got the pin. And Sami Zayn did it. He dethroned Gunther. His IC title reign done after 666 days. The number of the beast. 666.
Yeah, I loved that too. I was like, it probably wasn't on purpose.
No,
it just happened like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sami Zayn, your new IC champion. Now, this match, some people were criticizing like it didn't maybe get up to that next level as far as like it was Gunther really just dominating, and maybe I guess people want to see Sami like fight back more.
Right.
It just kind of came quickly for the ending there. I don't know if it was just because of like a time restraint thing where they couldn't like go longer or kind of tell more of that dramatic side of things. What are your thoughts of Sami, the one to beat him? I think some people are upset that Sami was the one to beat him. Sami's already kind of accomplished quite a bit in WWE.
My thing is, Sami, now that I know a stat that I didn't know before, Sami is perfect to beat him. Sami beat, I think it was Neville, longest reigning NXT champion. He beat the Usos, longest reigning tag team champions. Now he beats Gunther, longest reigning IC title run.
Interesting. Okay.
So but he should have been the... Well, no, never mind. Roman doesn't have the longest. Never mind. I take back what I was about to say.
Yeah. Well, but still, like I'm happy for Sami because last year he had the big WrestleMania main event win with Kevin last year. This year, another big moment for him. Now I know he's been IC champion before, but this feels different. This is him as a babe. Is it? It's his fourth one?
4.
Wow. Okay, but it's him as a baby face now, which is going to be. Yeah. With the other ones all heels before. I
believe so.
So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out moving forward. But here's the other thing too. Gunther has made that IC title so relevant again and importance and big deal. Yes. With that being said, like star power needs to be on that IC title to keep it going, that momentum going. So Sami Zayn, with his name recognition, the fans love him. I think it's the right move to have him be IC champion for the time being. So, and I'm sure Sami, the total underdog, babyface, he'll put on great matches as IC champion. So I think it was the right call. So him and Chad Gable.
In the press conference that night, Triple H was asked, Shawn Michaels was always praised for, not just his moves, but the way he told his story in the ring. And the person that asked him that said, Sami Zayn is very similar. Do you see a lot of Shawn Michaels in Sami Zayn? And Triple H is like, I get where you're coming from, but he's like, I get where you're coming from, but Sami is Sami. Sami is great at the little things, the in-between things. He is great. And he's like, whether you want to say he's acting a good actor or whatever, he's great at drawing you in with all that emotion and getting you invested and believing in the things that he does that others can't do.
Yeah.
And Triple H praised Sami Zayn big time.
Yeah,
for his performance and just the way he can get a crowd or someone watching at home invested in his matches, and not just, oh, that was a cool move, that was a big spot. No, it's the little things in between that he does.
Yep, exactly. No, I'm very happy for Sami Zayn. I was kind of hopeful Kevin would win the next night, and though that way him and Sami can celebrate both winning the mid-card titles and hug it out. Very similar to WrestleMania 20. So
also looking at my notes here, the finish was brainbuster, haluva kick, second haluva kick pin.
Yeah, okay. So these notes here, whoever typed this up, I was like, wait, that did not happen like that. So thank you for the clarification. All right, next up, main event for night one, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins teaming up against the Bloodline, which is The Rock and Roman Reigns. And for me, I was just happy to see The Rock wrestle again. I've said this before, I never got to see Stone Cold wrestle in his prime, so to see Stone Cold wrestle finally again 2 years ago for the first time in person in Dallas, Texas. Now jump ahead 2 years later and get to see The Rock wrestle. I never got to see The Rock wrestle in person back in the day, so I'm very happy in a 2-year time span they got to see Stone Cold and The Rock, two icons from my youth, wrestling in person, live in person. So that's something I will appreciate very much from this past weekend. And man, this main event, arguably the greatest tag team WrestleMania match of all time. As far as the implication, I'm with you. As far as I like the stipulation of what happens here sets up for the main event the next night. I think New Japan did it a couple years ago with Wrestle Kingdom. Like they had
something. They had like night one had 2 number 1 contender matches basically, and the winners of those matches then went on to night 2 to fight for the championship.
Exactly, but I wish WWE does more of that. Like something happens on night 1, sets up.
Was it WrestleMania 4 with the tournament?
Yeah, exactly. So it sets up something for night 2. I think it's a great spot. Cody comes out the ring. Seth comes out to the ring. Roman comes out, and then The Rock, man, his entrance.
I had friends that don't watch wrestling send me this going, wow, that was cool.
That was
friends
a
that don't watch
badass.
wrestling saw it on Facebook, and we're like, wow, that was cool.
The blue lightning, the electricity, the fire with the Brahma Bull logo, The Rock standing there with the People's Champ title that Muhammad Ali's wife presented to him the night before at the Hall of Fame.
Really a belt Muhammad Ali had, or was that?
I don't think so. No, I think it was just made.
Got a Brahma Bull on it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think that was freshly made.
Muhammad wanted you to have this. Muhammad Ali was the Brahma Bull too. He stole both those things.
No. So he's walking around with that title. It was funny though. I mean, now in hindsight, we know Damian Priest is the new heavyweight champion, successful cash in. But it was funny that night, Saturday night, everyone's like, what if Damian Priest cashes in on mistake and tries to take the People's Champ, The Rock's People's Champ title? That one. So thank God did not play out like that, making Damian Priest look like a fool.
Night one, Cody, the only one without a belt technically in that match.
Yeah, all right. Well, he got his the next night. Very happy. So this match, 45 minutes? And I know Roman carried the match. The Rock came in after. I like how they went outside.
The Rock has learned how to pace a match for a 51-year-old man.
Exactly. Shout out to Gallus. The Gallus boys helped train him. Bobby Roode as well helped produce this. And
he said he had rings set up in like 4 different places depending on where he needed to be at all times.
Exactly.
I think it was Hawaii, California, Georgia, Florida.
Wow. Must be nice, man.
Like I had rings flown in everywhere I needed to be.
And Michael Hayes, Bobby Roode helped oversee the training as well.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. So very cool. Yeah. For the Gallows boys to have the opportunity. That was brought up at the Shawn Michaels on the media day. There was like a little I have the footage. I haven't uploaded it, but it was such a big file. But after the media day on Friday, Shawn Michaels came out and did a little mini media scrum.
I saw that.
Yeah. So someone asked about the Gallows boys, and he explained, they helped train The Rock and get back in ring shape.
Nice.
But yeah, no, The Rock paced himself. I like how the match went on the outside for a bit. Way to kind of protect The Rock of like beating down on the outside. I love, since he's a member of the TKO board, kept telling the ref, you don't count me out. You don't disqualify me. If you do, I fire you. So the ref the whole time was like letting the chaos happen because he was afraid to lose his job. So
what do I do?
Yeah, what I do. So that was fun. The Rock, like you said, paced himself. His spots matter when he did them. The impact there.
Also, no one's worried about COVID anymore. Rock spitting water in Seth's face multiple times.
Yeah, the prime bottles in the corner. Very cool. Roman was trying to go for a spear, but took out The Rock. The Rock selling like, oh my God. And then let's see, Cody was going for his third crossroads, but The Rock hit Cody with the weight belt, allowing Roman to hit another spear on Cody Rhodes, and then The Rock tagged back in and then hit Cody with the rock bottom before hitting him with the people's elbow for the win. And it was Bloodline rules for the next night 2, and then they stood tall and celebrated. Cody hit The Rock though with the rock bomb on the outside on the table. That was cool. A little scary. I'm always scared to see The Rock take those high end bumps on the outside, but a lot of fun for a 45-minute match. Very fun. And
it did not feel that long. Like it felt like a longer match, of course, but it did not feel like 45 minutes. Yeah. And I did appreciate the fact that it was only Mama Rhodes and Brandy's dad at ringside. So you saved the family for the next night. No Brandy until she comes out with him on night 2. Get into that here momentarily. But it's like, I love that. They did the Mama Rhodes thing, but they didn't like overdo it or anything.
Yeah.
She yelled back at The Rock a little bit. And
Yeah, so next night, Bloodline rules for the next night. So, all right, let's go ahead and power through this. And then we're running kind of late, but let's power through this. So night 2 kicked off. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Seth Rollins, kind of fun entrance with like, it was like a Rosebud's entrance, but he had like his own.
So they said something about this is a Philly thing. Like there's a parade or something that they do in Philly every year. And this is how the people that perform in this parade or festival or whatever dress. So this was a Philly tradition thing that they used for Seth's entrance because the wacky gear, wacky, costumes fit
Persona.
Seth Rollins.
Yeah, okay. So he comes out the ring, but
50 people out there.
Yeah, it was a huge crowd. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But Seth kind of selling the injuries from the night before. I mean, he was already beaten up with the back for months, has the knee issues for the last few months. But then the beat down he took from the bloodline the night before. So he's beaten down. So that, I think, was a great way to kind of protect him going into this match. Drew was dominating. I love he took on the outside. So whose phone? Was that his wife's phone he took and was tweeting?
It was either his or his wife's.
Okay.
Because his account was logged in on it.
Yeah.
So he grabbed the phone, goes, bored at work, LOL.
So they're going back and forth. Ultimately, let's see, let's see the finish here. Drew hit the Claymore on Seth Rollins for the win. Very cool for Drew McIntyre. Get a win, a world championship win in front of a live audience. I know he's a heel right now, but his character work has been phenomenal. The crowd, I think, cheered for him, just knew what that symbolized there. The emotion, you could tell he was just like really happy. Went over to his wife, showed the title. They kissed, very happy. CM Punk.
You probably didn't hear this on commentary.
Okay.
But Punk, I guess, didn't know they were married or something and was like, said something along the lines of, oh, so what are you going to do with that girl? Or he made some offhanded comment that made it seem like he didn't know that was his wife and maybe thought it was just some random chick that he brought with him, or I don't know.
No. Okay.
But he made some offhanded comment that made me go, Punk doesn't know they're married.
Oh my God. Well, CM Punk was doing commentary as that set that up on Raw a couple weeks ago. Drew, once again, he's just obsessed with CM Punk and like getting in his face, rubbing his face. Got in his face. CM Punk got up, took the brace off his injured arm, put it on his good arm, hit Drew with it. Judgment Day music hits, the Alter Bridge song. Damian Priest comes running down, cashes in the briefcase, takes him in the ring, does the choke slam, South of Heaven, and Damian Priest pins Drew McIntyre, is your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Judgment Day comes out celebrating. The crowd pops so hard.
Yeah.
Like, I'll ask you, Tim, do you think that was the greatest opening match for a WrestleMania?
Opening match. That's tough.
The only one I could come up is Brett versus Owen, WrestleMania 10. That's what a lot of people say is the greatest opening match of all time. But this one, just the excitement level there. Maybe not necessarily for the in-ring, but like the excitement.
Everything involving the post-match and whatnot. The symbolism there of how Drew lost the belt, though, is he was always getting on Seth. You're too obsessed with the bloodline. The bloodline's going to be your downfall. Mm-hmm. Well, he was too obsessed with CM Punk, and being obsessed with CM Punk was his downfall. And
I love the meme came real. Like CM Punk saw the music hit, that Judgment Day music hit, and the purple lights, and he turned and looked, and it was, Yeah. But then he just like stood back, like, all right, Damian, do your thing.
And then sat on the table and was just clapping.
And just laughed at Drew McIntyre. Yep. So that sets up a feud down the road. Drew now has the Raw after Mania. We saw he was just so pissed at CM Punk. He took his 5 minutes away. He was only champ for 5 minutes. He took it away from him. So that sets up a match between the two of them at some point when CM Punk's healthy. But hopefully CM Punk is healthy before Drew's contract is up. So I know there's reports Drew has not signed a new deal yet.
Right. As of this week, still nothing.
I hope it's a work. Yeah. So I don't know.
So it's true that he hasn't signed a new deal. I don't know how true it is that they haven't even approached him yet. That I don't know.
Okay. But
I know it's true that he hasn't signed a new deal. Other than that, and like the logistics of everything, I don't know. Becky did say it on her podcast, her contract, not her podcast, but Ariel Helwani's, that her contract is up soon and they haven't talked yet. So she did confirm that about her.
So Drew, Becky, Finn is another one's Seth.
Dijak.
Wow. Yeah.
And if you want to get even bigger, Hook. And the rumor today is that Hook may want to look at free agency.
Yep. I saw that too. So it's going to be interesting summertime for WWE in the roster.
When AEW became a thing,
Yeah.
Vince at first was like, they're nothing. So he told Jericho, you want to take their deal, take their deal. As soon as it became real to Vince of, Jericho really did sign with them, he signed a bunch of people to 5-year deals. And now those 5-year deals are coming up.
Yeah, because that was 2019. Yeah,
Because
2024.
the story is Tony Khan reached out to Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho then went to Vince and said, "Hey, there's this guy that wants to start a new company, and he wants me to sign with him. What do you think?" And Vince is like, "Yeah, okay, whatever. Do what you're gonna do." Not thinking that it was actually gonna end up coming to fruition. And the rumor is that Jericho signed the contract. Vince found out and calls Jericho and goes, I don't want to lose you. Any way you can get out of it?" And Jericho's like, "No, when I sign a deal, I'm going to commit."
Yeah. So
And
it's
so
gonna be
Vince realized in that moment, this thing might be real. And they signed people in 2019 to 5-year deals.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting summer,
It's
man.
like
With all
Charlotte
this,
even revealed that she just re-signed
yeah.
not too long ago.
Who else re-signed? Damian Priest re-signed. Yeah,
He signed a new contract.
yeah. So it's gonna be interesting, man. I hope Drew stays.
Yeah, me too.
What I'm hopeful for is him and Damien have a rematch, Clash at the Castle in Scotland. Drew wins there. Once again, a title in front of an audience, but this time in front of his home country. That would be awesome. Unfortunately, that would mean Damien has a short title reign, which I don't know how I feel about that. And then it sets up maybe I think Gunther should get a title shot at the Berlin show. Was that
I was
August
literally
or
looking
September?
up those dates right now because I had a theory. Hold on, give me 1 second. I have a theory.
So
I need to look at these dates.
That's what I'm
Never
curious
mind.
is like what could happen this summer.
So my theory was Gunther gets the title shot at Bash of Berlin. CM Punk screws Drew out of the belt. Gunther becomes the new champion. Then then you set up Drew and Punk for SummerSlam. But you got to flip that because SummerSlam comes before Berlin.
Okay, gotcha.
I thought it was the opposite. I know they're the same month. SummerSlam is August 3rd. Berlin is August 31st. I thought they were flopped.
Okay.
It would have made so much sense if they were flopped.
Yeah.
Gunther gets the big win in Berlin. Punk screws Drew again out of essentially for a second time screws Drew out of the belt. And you can go to SummerSlam with that as your big, non-title main event.
For me, just based on the locations of these PLEs, I would like to see Drew win a world title in Scotland and then Gunther win a world title. Now he's no longer IC champion, win a world title in Berlin. So we'll see. We'll see.
Weird thing though, and I don't know if there's a difference between being in Wales or Scotland. Wales, they did 60,000 people for Clash of the Castle last year. Now they're in some amphitheater that's only seats like 14,000.
Oh, really?
Scotland. Yeah, it's a lot smaller of a venue.
Interesting.
An indoor theater style area building, and it's only the capacity 14,500 or something.
Wow. Okay, that's good.
I don't know if they couldn't get a bigger building. They weren't confident in Scotland. I don't know. But that's the thing that as soon as they announced the building, I go, "Ooh, what's this building?" And I looked it up, and it said capacity 14,500 and whatnot. I was like, well, "That's odd," because most of these international shows they've been trying to go as big as possible.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see Damian Priest what he does as world heavyweight champion on Raw after Mania. The crowd was saying you deserve it, and it's gonna be interesting the dynamic now. Rhea as the women's world heavyweight champion, him as the men's world heavyweight champion. They're both champions of the Judgment Day. Is there going to be tension of who's the real leader of the Judgment Day and
how's that?
Yeah, so how that storyline. So it kind of gives Judgment Day some new legs to work with for the faction. Because I think a lot of people thought it was going to implode already, but now you got some little bit of fresh new life for the next few months at least. So that will be interesting. Next up, Philadelphia Street Fight. It was Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits taking on the Final Testament, which is Karrion Kross and Authors of Pain.
Technically, they're kind of now officially the Pride.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I was gonna say the Pride
didn't have the graphic, but then when WWE posted the thing of winners, it said winners the Pride on social media.
Yeah, I saw that. So
and Wade Barrett called them the Pride on the pre-show.
Cool. Snoop Dogg on commentary, as we mentioned earlier, hilarious from what I've heard. I want to watch the show.
At one point, they pull out a table, and he goes, "That ain't no picnic table. That's more like a family reunion table." I'm like, okay.
Also, shout out Bubba Dudley was special guest referee. Very fitting for Philly, home of ECW.
Many people were mad about that because they don't like Bully. Oh, I hate Bully Ray. He's an ass. And I'm like, it was fun.
Yeah, it was great for what it,
That's all we were going. I couldn't like that match from the start because they brought out Bully Ray.
There was one spot the table broke, but I'm glad they recovered quickly. Ultimately, the Pride pick up the victory over the Final Testament. And as we saw in NXT this week, the Final Testament showed up on
I think that's
NXT.
perfect for them.
Rex Shop took out the new NXT Tag Champion. Sorry, spoiler if you haven't heard yet. Axiom and
It's Frazier.
Frazier are the new tag team champions that beat Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin. So a rematch, 3 days later after Stand and Deliver. So
that was weird.
Yeah, weird kind of quick rematch, but I guess that's a way to get the titles off Braun. So for SmackDown, go to SmackDown because they said goodbye to him after the show went off the air. Baron Corbin led that chant. But yes, Final Testament, a smart move. That's something WWE's been doing lately. Maybe people on the main roster who need some rehabilitation for their character or some work. Send them back to NXT, fresh start.
I wouldn't even go that far and say if they need rehabilitation because Ivar showed up on NXT this week as well to challenge Obafemi. And he don't need no rehabilitation. It's more of, hey, we don't got nothing for you on Raw or SmackDown, but we know that you can get a good reaction and good matches out of these people. I like using veterans like an Ivar, throw them down in NXT to work with these newer talents and be like, hey, get something out of this guy and tell us if he's any good. Yeah.
So, like I said, I've been really with the Final Testament. They haven't really been doing it for me. Cross, and I have friends who really like him. I was like, he's always been kind of to me.
I thought his NXT title reign was good.
Yeah, I mean, so but him as the Final Testament, the main roster, he's just been like a depth guy, just kind of there to.
Which is weird because Triple H used him so well in NXT.
Exactly. So I hope Final Testament, they can kind of maybe sort who they are and kind of get them going again and build them back up. So when they do come back to the main roster, they can go on a tear as a faction. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. AJ Styles taking on LA Knight. Yeah. This match, it was interesting because I think a lot of people were kind of on the fence. It was here, a good filler match. LA Knight got the win, which I think was very important. Yes. He needs a big win for his momentum for heading into 2024. AJ Styles got the new entrance music. I got to hear it again. I could kind of hear it from the press box. I need to re-listen to it.
Because not even that. It's it played, but then the crowd was chanting over it. Commentary kind of spoke a little bit. And then AJ ran to the ring so fast, they only played it felt 10, 15, 20 seconds at most.
Yeah. So it's, I want to get a better feeling of what the song is. The match itself was okay. It's I don't know. I'm trying to think what I can say.
Here's my thing.
Go ahead.
AJ Styles is still as good as ever, flipping around, doing all of his high flying stuff, and 30 pounds bigger with all that muscle.
Yep. Yeah.
Bodybuilder AJ can still do all the same high flying moves, no problem.
Yeah. We saw AJ towards the end go for a phenomenal forearm, but LA Knight moved the rope and AJ lost his balance, and then LA Knight hit the BFT for the win. So LA Knight wins the match, which is good. Now, long term, spoiler, jumping ahead, Logan Paul retained the U.S. title. I hope LA Knight's the one that dethrones.
Beats him in his hometown at SummerSlam in Cleveland.
Exactly. I want that. I want LA Knight to beat Logan Paul and become the new U.S. champion. And they do have history going back to last summer with the build to the Money in the Bank match. So they can totally revisit that. I think that's where they need to go. Speaking of the U.S. title, so yes, Logan Paul defending against Kevin Owens, Randy Orton. Logan Paul comes out first, got his buddy in the Prime Bottle costume. And then Kevin Owens comes out, picks up Randy Orton in the golf cart, and they ride down together. That was pretty hilarious.
Did you see Randy when they were riding down the ramp? Randy's like, "Slow down!"
Yeah. He's like, "My back is still sensitive." Man.
A couple things here with the entrances.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens had the ECW inspired graphics, which was awesome. And unfortunately, they kept that a secret because I saw some people. I had a friend that was there over the weekend and was like, if they didn't have to keep that a secret and could have sold KO Mania shirts in that style at the World at the Superstore, they would have sold so many of them.
Yes, they
wanted to keep the graphics a surprise for his entrance.
Because the KO Mania, he has a KO Mania shirt every year.
Yeah.
I saw that at the Superstore, but it was different. But yes, I would love the ECW inspired version. So
the KO Mania shirts are normally old school inspired WrestleMania posters with whatever match Kevin Owens has that year.
Yeah.
But it's like I had a friend that went, and I had a couple other people I saw on social media were like, if that logo was on a shirt at the Superstore or the World, I would have bought it without even questioning myself.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. I would have done the same thing.
So cool.
So this match here, Randy, Kevin kind of teaming up against Logan, back and forth. Eventually we saw, let's see what happens here. This finish. So was it Randy Orton teased he wanted to try to do an RKO that he's never done before? And so
I think he said something along the lines of he was going to do an RKO that would shock people and like something.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I never RKO'd a 19-year-old kid before.
So we saw Kevin Owens. He went for the pop-up powerbomb on Randy Orton. Orton reversed it into an RKO. That was awesome. He was about to go for the pin, but then Logan Paul tossed Randy Orton to the ring post and then hit the frog splash on Kevin Owens for the win. So he retained the title. Love that sequence right there. That was so cool. Anything else from this match that kind of stood out for you? Or
I had no clue who ISO Speed is.
I mean,
I kept thinking they were saying on commentary ISO Steve. I'm like, what? ISO Steve? I didn't know. I'm like, I've seen this guy's face before on like social media and whatnot. I'm like, I know I've seen the guy, but I couldn't tell you who he is or why I've seen his face.
Yeah.
My son knew exactly who he was, though.
Okay. Well,
my son knew. My son's 13.
Yeah. I'm 40. I'm too old.
But,
I'm out of the demo.
But it was just like, so I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool. Every year, Logan Paul's got somebody in the prime bottle that's going to get beat up. I love it. I love the dynamic there.
Keep it going. 3 years in a row.
Next year. I thought maybe it would be Jake, but
see,
eventually it's got to be Jake, right? Eventually.
But he was up in the like a suite watching. It looked like,
but no, I thought the match was fun. I loved the whole Randy's just like, so when are we gonna fight Kevin? We're just gonna keep going after. Oh, it's time for me and you to fight. All right, let's go. So I did like that. Also, the KO Mania shirt, ECW inspired. You can buy it on Shop. It is available on WWE Shop. Hold on, $32.99.
What?
They only have mediums, smalls, and 5XL left.
Oh, Jesus.
Large XL, 2XL, 3XL, and 4XL are all already sold out.
Okay, KO Mania.
So we just go to
how they sell it that? Come on, people, make some more shirts. Fanatics, come on. Even the CM Punk shirt sold out. Even like when I went to, damn it.
But the shirt is available, but now you got to wait until you get in your size.
Damn it.
If you're not a small, medium, or 5XL. Which I'm like, I could kind of fit into a medium, but more large. Or just get the medium and then hope it doesn't shrink in the wash.
Yeah.
And hand wash it every time.
Yes.
But no. Overall, I like the match. I predicted Logan Paul walking out with the belt. There's just something that to me it was like triple threat. I could see them having Logan Paul win and then it'd be all good or whatever. But entertaining match. I liked it. Again, I really love the fact that he always comes down with the prime bottle, and the prime bottle is always going to get his butt beat.
Next up for the WWE Women's Championship, Io Sky, the champ, defending against Bayley. Bayley coming out with that Egyptian look. They were trying to explain it was like a park in San Jose. I couldn't hear, and I'm here in the Bay Area, but I didn't know
there's an Egyptian themed park in the Bay Area. They said the name of it. Corey Graves knew the whole backstory.
Yeah, and he said a buddy of his, and I think I know who's the buddy that texted him. I don't want to say reveal, but it's a mutual friend who I know as well. So I think I know who was texting him that.
Gotcha.
Let's see.
Rosicrucian Park?
Yeah.
I know I've driven past it before. I never, but
Okay, I have to look this up more.
Rosicrucian Egyptian Museum, also known as Rosicrucian Park.
In San Jose. Park Avenue in San Jose.
I guess the word is this was a change to Bayley's entrance is what I heard. Like, let me see if I can find it. Bayley WrestleMania entrance change. There's something I heard that, like, Bayley's entrance got changed or something. They were trying to get Paramore to play or whatever. They want Haley, the lead singer of Paramore, to sing, and she wasn't available. That was Bayley's wish to have the lead singer of Paramore sing. Speaking of Bay Area, Bailey did reveal that AJ Krish was one of the men holding her up.
That was AJ Krish?
He was the guy in the back. I think she said back left.
Hold on, let me look at AJ.
She was like, I don't know. She goes, because someone said something on Twitter about who were the guys. She goes, no, someone goes, I bet you those were all NXT wrestlers carrying Bailey to the ring. And she goes, I don't know the
I'm looking
Twitter
right now.
handles. She goes, I don't know the Twitter handles of the other three, but I know the guy in the back left is AJ Krish.
Oh, okay. I'm looking. Let's see. Yeah, there's a tweet here. These 4 guys are most likely training NXT, right? Question mark. And she said, no. Actually, no. Unfortunately, I don't know the other 3 social media, but the one in the back right is AJ Krish. Oh, so that's AJ. I had no idea. Let me see if AJ, because AJ was in Philly. He was posting at all the different shows. So that's cool. Yeah. He got a job for WrestleMania. I'll have to text him about that. I did not. Oh, okay. Good for him. So AJ Krish is Egyptian holding Bailey, and then also he's a New York City police officer helping protect Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman, yep. So, he's just doing everything.
He's a very talented man. We love AJ Krish. Yep. Also, yeah, Drew McIntyre. He said his gear did not show up. It got lost in the mail from UPS, and then Bray Wyatt's buddy, who does like the costumes, his wife
went home and made everything last minute for him.
Yeah, man. So I'm sure that was nerve-wracking, stressful.
There was some other stuff with gear this weekend that wasn't too favorable. I don't know if I saw the Zelina stuff today.
I got to read. I don't know the details. I got to read up on that.
So I read the whole long thing, and it was just basically like this prop costume maker. Zelina reached out and said, can you make the wings for me or something? I'm just paraphrasing.
Okay.
Can you make the wings for me? And then like, if she would have charged Zelina full price, it would have been like $3,500 or $2,500, something like that.
Okay.
And so she did all this work, and then Zelina was like, here's the address you need to send it. Apparently it was like Zelina's old address, and then it got left outside, so some of it got damaged in the sun. And then Zelina was like mad at her for it. And this, I don't know, it was a whole thing. And Zelina did a rebuttal, but then my internet went down, so I didn't see. And then I had to go to my daughter's school. So I didn't see Zelina's rebuttal yet, but Zelina's like, I got proof that, this isn't the full story. And then somebody else came out and was like, oh yeah, Zelina tried to take art that I drew of her before and this and that without credit and this and a whole thing today about Zelina Vega. And
gotcha. Okay. I'll have to read up on that.
Wanting things because of her status and thinking she could just get them
without paying the artist.
Someone used the joke of, oh, Zelina just wants to pay Temu prices for everything.
That's funny. I'll have to read up on that. I saw the quote. So, but the match here, really good. I mean, Io is so damn good in the ring, but Bailey is too. Bailey is one of the best of this generation.
One last thing about the entrance really fast is the gear.
Yeah.
Am I looking too much into it? Bailey Warriors colors?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The blue and gold. Absolutely. That was Golden State Warriors colors. Yep. Representing the Bay any way she can. Also, shout out George Kittle, tight end of the San Francisco 49ers, sitting ringside, cheering her on. And it was cool. They showed him on the screen and all the Philadelphia Eagles fans booing him. And I was in the press box going, yeah, funny. Hell yeah. Representing the Bay. The Bay is all here, man. Me, George Kittle, and Bailey. We got it locked down at WrestleMania. So the match itself, really good. Bailey hit Io with the Saito suplex and followed up with the flying elbow before hitting the Rose Plant for the win. She is now the new WWE Women's Champion. Very happy for Bailey. Just getting that big WrestleMania moment, because for so many years, the other 4 horsewomen had their big WrestleMania moments. Bailey was in Tampa Bay 3 years ago, which just kind of like made a joke. Hosting the Bella Twins, had that fun, goofy prank or funny segment with her. She's putting over other people and stuff. So I'm just really happy for Bailey to get this big moment on a WrestleMania stage.
I thought Bailey's selling of the knee was tremendous.
Yes.
Like the whole match, just like, I'm hurt, but I'm not going to give up and this and that and da-da-da. I just don't like the Rose Plant. I'm going to say it right now. I don't like the Rose Plant as a finisher. It looks awkward. You could tell once or twice, maybe Io wasn't 100% sure how to like do it and take it. Yeah. And so like the first time they set it up, it looked weird. And then the second time Io figured it out and planted herself right on the top of her head. Not in a bad way or anything. She sold it really well. Yeah. I think either go back to the Bailey to belly or use the Rose Plant as a setup for the elbow. You do the Rose Plant, drop them on their head.
So
they
reverse.
flip over onto their back. They're laying there. They're down. Bailey climbs the ropes, hits the elbow, and gets the pin.
I like that.
The Rose Plant doesn't feel like an impactful enough move as a finish. Like, oh, that ain't gonna. They're down. They're dead.
Yeah.
They're what?
Kind of same thing with LA Knight and his finisher. It kind of.
At least he's doing it from like up here and dropping them hard. Bailey's like a foot off the mat and just like. Pop.
Yeah, slapping them down on the mat. All right, the main event for the undisputed WWE Championship, or excuse me, undisputed WWE Universal Championship, Roman Reigns defending against Cody Rhodes, which, by the way, jumping ahead already to the finish, Cody Rhodes wins. Samantha Irvin said undisputed WWE champion.
I was going to ask you the exact same question.
And then at Raw, she said it again like that.
Which also.
So this was after the match, after Cody won, and then the Raw after Mania. Are they just wiping away Universal?
When Cody yelled it, he said Universal.
Okay.
It's like, I'm the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, but Samantha didn't say it. Triple H didn't say it.
I just wonder, this is how they're going to wipe new title reign. That's how they're going to wipe away the Universal Championship now. It's gone. This is now the undisputed WWE Championship now.
Yep, we're back to 2013, the WWE title and the World Heavyweight title.
Fine by me. Keep it simple.
Yep.
So the match itself, God, I mean, it played out like how I think a lot of us predicted. Very overbooked, but so much fun.
But not till the last 10, 15 minutes. They really did a 25 minute normal match.
So let's see. Okay, 33:25 listed time-wise. But yeah, it was like the last 10 minutes is where things really picked up.
So they had a normal 20-minute match to start it off.
Yeah.
And it was good.
Yeah, really good match. And then jumping towards the finish, Solo comes out, tries to thumb Cody. Roman goes for the pin. Cody kicks out.
Ahead, Jimmy first.
Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry. Jimmy comes out, gets involved. Jay comes to the rescue. Yep. The two of them fight up the ramp. And you're right, as you mentioned earlier, I think that fight was better than the match itself they had the night before.
Jay speared him off the ramp through a table.
Incredible. Solo comes out, hits the spike on Cody. Cody kicks out. So it's like Cody, all right, he is Superman or Captain America in this match. He's super powered. Very much like Johnny Gargano at that NXT takeover when he single-handedly defeated all the Undisputed Era, all their attacks. But sure enough, John Cena comes out, makes his big return, runs down the ramp, takes out Solo, puts him through the table.
And I loved it because Solo was the one that sent John packing.
Exactly. Took out his throat. He couldn't talk for the longest time. So it was very fitting. Cena took out Solo. Cena's standing there. The Rock's music hits. The final boss comes down to the ring. Him and John have this stare off. Of course, we know about their history with the back-to-back WrestleMania main events they had. They go at it. The Rock takes out Cena. And then, let me see. I'm trying to remember to get it all right. Then all of a sudden the lights go out. Yeah. Undertaker's music hits. Undertaker shows up.
Was it the music or just the dong? I don't remember hearing.
It's just the dong. Yeah, you're right. Excuse me. It was the dong. Actually, hold on. Cena and Johnson stare down, center of the ring, calling back to their matches. Yeah. The Rock hits a rock bottom on John Cena.
They call back to Mania 18 with the looking out at the crowd with the Hogan Rock thing. They look out at the crowd like Mania 18. I like that.
Excuse me, I had this wrong. So hits the rock bottom on Cena. Then the Shield's music hits. Seth Rollins.
So underwhelming. Also, I'll admit it. I go, you get Dean Ambrose? We're not getting Dean Ambrose.
I know. Everyone thought Dean Ambrose was going to show up, but he's under contract. AEW. Mox not coming, but Seth comes out in the old Shield's gear. Roman Reigns immediately just attacks him. Superman punches him.
Look out! And he hits him.
Yes. And then the lights go out when the Rock's in the ring. Out comes the Undertaker, hits the Rock with the choke slam, and then the lights go off again, and the Undertaker disappears. Which I'm going to say
everybody disappears except for Seth, Cody, and Roman.
I'm going to say this. I was a little bummed. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was great seeing Undertaker come out, get involved in this match. And I said this right away in the press box to people around me. I really think that spot was reserved for Stone Cold Steve Austin. But who knows? Maybe something happened. Stone Cold wasn't available, so Undertaker was the backup plan. I get it. There is history there with Undertaker and The Rock going back to the Attitude Era, the Fatal 4-Way, WrestleMania 2000. They have history. Also keep in mind, Roman Reigns was Undertaker's second loss ever at WrestleMania, back at WrestleMania 33. So him and Roman have history, because the night after the Raw after Mania, Roman said, "This is my yard now," saying like Undertaker's done. So they do have history. So I get it. The Undertaker.
Yeah, every baby face that came out has history with Roman at least.
Exactly. But how awesome would it have been if instead of Undertaker, we had the glass shatter, Stone Cold comes out, Rock's number one rival, the one person that has his number.
And if I'm going to book it, Stone Cold comes out on the four-wheeler, down the ramp.
Yep.
Just get it quick and dirty.
Get in there, stuns the Rock. Rock does one more amazing sell of the stunner, and that's how you get them both out of the ring. And then Cody and Roman do their finish there. But so anyway, what actually happened? Undertaker choke slams the Rock, and then the lights go off, and so did the Rock disappear too in that moment?
Yeah. So the lights go out, come back on, Undertaker's there, choke slam to the Rock, lights go back out, and then when they come back on, the only people left, Seth, Cody, Roman.
Okay.
Everybody else is gone. It's the reset, basically.
Gotcha. So we see Roman pick up the chair, and he has a decision to make. He's got Cody on one side, his right side. He's got Seth on his left side. The history there, long-term storytelling. You can argue the tribal chief and the whole paranoia that he has and trust issues stems from Seth Rollins when he attacked Roman, hit him with that chair shot, and broke up the Shield. So Roman, without hesitation, took that chair and hit Seth Rollins. Boom, took him out, and hit Seth Rollins with the chair. Seth Rollins falls, very much like how Roman did, into the ropes. Yep. Very much a callback how Roman got taken out by Seth and also Sami Zayn at the Royal Rumble last year. The chair shot. So
also, do you know the other symbolism of Seth coming out with the Shield music and stuff?
Absolutely. So a couple weeks ago, when Cody and Seth were trying to, agree to be tag partners, Seth told him, like, I feel responsible for creating the tribal chief, and I will be your Shield in this tag team match.
Yeah, a lot of people missed that.
Yeah, so Seth really was Cody Rhodes' Shield in this match and took the bullet from Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns being distracted, just seeing blood and seeing red and going after Seth Rollins. Cody was able to come back and then hit him with the chair, and then Reigns went to go for his spear, but Cody was able to catch him and kick him in the face, and then while Roman was like dazed, Cody hit him with the 3 back-to-back crossroads, got the pin, 1, 2, 3. He is your new undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Cody Rhodes finished the story after 2 years in the making. He's your brand new champion.
Samantha's call at the end where she's crying and you can hear it in her voice. So good. You see Michael Buffer?
Yeah.
Called her out on social media. He was like, that was amazing.
Yeah, give her props, her flowers. That's so cool. From the arguably the greatest ring announcer of all time. Very happy for Samantha.
The thing you missed, though, during the entrances, Brandy. That was my first crying moment.
Yeah.
Cody comes up through the Cody Vader. Also,
and he has the mask.
Made by Bray's mask guy.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what that was about.
So I don't know where the inspiration comes from it, but I know Bray's buddy, like if you watch the Bray documentary, he calls Bray like his best friend. So they were really close.
Okay.
And so he's the one that made the mask for Cody for his entrance. So when, they do the thing where Cody comes up the elevator, you always have that tight shot right there. So Cody's face is right in the camera. When they get the wide and Brandy walks up, I started crying. I go, okay. Because I knew they were going to do something big with Brandy because she wasn't there on night 1 in the crowd at all. Yeah.
So very cool. Brandy makes her return.
So at that, more of Cody's entrance that made me cry when he walked down and boom, there's Brody Jr.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, got me again.
And his mom was there, and it was just And it was just really cool. Cody's like crying, holding the title. Brandy comes in, they kiss. Cody gives the title to his mom because that's what he said. It's like, my dad's not here. I can't give him the title. The next best thing, I'm going to give the title that dad never won, that Dusty never won. I'm going to give it to his mom, Mama Rhodes. And so he gave it to her, and they hugged and cried. And then all the baby faces come out, all people who've had issues with the bloodline. They carry Cody on his their shoulders. I think it was Sammy and Randy holding him. And what a moment. My brother was telling me it's very similar. Dusty, back in the 80s, I think he won the NWA title for the third time. A bunch of baby faces came out and celebrated with him. Yeah. So I think it was a callback to that.
So and, what I had heard is that wasn't like Cody didn't know they were going to do all that as far as everyone coming down like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true or not, but that was one of the things going around the next day was like Cody probably knew that everyone's going to be watching in Gorilla and everything, but he didn't know for a fact that everyone was going to come down afterwards like that.
So it was, let's see.
Because like you see, like when he realized Randy Orton's there, you could see his like shock, like, oh, Randy.
Yeah, so it was Randy, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, LA Knight, CM Punk, Brandy Rhodes, Brody Lee Jr., rest of his family. John Cena, yeah, he was there today. They enlist John Cena.
John Cena was going crazy, jumping up and down. Yeah, and then he like says something to Brandy, embraces with Randy Orton.
Yeah. So this is really cool. Cody grabs the microphone, has Triple H and Bruce Pritchard ask them to come to the ring, and they celebrate. Just such a great moment.
So
Hollywood ending, if you want to call it that.
Cody Rhodes is now one of, I want to say, 4 men.
Yes,
that can say that they have held both the WWE and the NWA championship. It's Buddy Rogers, Ric Flair, AJ Styles, and Cody Rhodes.
Exactly. And Cody's the first person, if you want to get technical, also the ROH championship, if you want to count that as he's the first person to have all 3 titles, if you want to count that. But wait, the 4
did AJ never hold the ROH belt?
I don't know. I think he was IWGP champion during that time.
I know he's held belts in ROH. I can tell you in 2 seconds. So
no, very cool. I just want to say this on record because I was telling people in the press box.
AJ held the Pure and the tag titles in the ROH, but never the ROH World title.
Gotcha. I do want to say this. Just I can say I claim this. I said this. I said in the press box, and people agreed with me, and they loved the comment I made. And I saw people on Twitter say it afterwards. So I really think this last 2 years, Cody Rhodes' story in WWE, this big return, it was their version of Star Wars. So follow along with me. Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
Cody Rhodes returns to WrestleMania, returns WrestleMania 38 in Dallas, Texas. WrestleMania, that is their version of A New Hope. As we know, New Hope, that's where Luke Skywalker, he's the new hope. He is the new hero, the new savior to take out the Empire. So Cody Rhodes makes this big return to WWE. He is the new hero, the new babyface that will one day take down the bloodline. Last year, WrestleMania 39 in LA, Cody Rhodes loses to the bloodline, gets defeated, very much like The Empire Strikes Back. Luke Skywalker gets defeated by Darth Vader, has to go away, retrain, get focused before he has the rematch, which is this year, WrestleMania XL, WrestleMania 40. Cody Rhodes has the rematch against Roman Reigns, finally beats him, dethrones him as the new WWE champion. And who knows about the future of the bloodline, but they're shattered right now. Who knows what's going to happen? So I really think these last 2 years between WrestleMania 38, WrestleMania 39, WrestleMania 40, this is their version of Star Wars playing out with Cody Rhodes as Luke Skywalker.
Heck, you could even go another layer and say this is night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania was their Avengers Infinity War to Endgame.
Exactly. I agree with you
night
there too.
1, Rock is Thanos, the big bad beats the Captain America, and you could say maybe Seth is Iron Man or whatever. And then on night 2, they need to bring everybody back in to beat the big bad.
The overbooking, everyone comes in, all the baby faces, and Seth, like Iron Man, takes the blow from Thanos to save the day for Cody to get the win. So yes, like Seth Rollins was the Iron Man role here and like took the big hit in order for Cody to get the win. And it was cool. They shook hands afterwards and Cody thanked him for doing that. And what a great way to end WrestleMania XL. I'll leave that for you guys. Leave a comment. Do you think that was the greatest main event of all time in WWE WrestleMania history? I think that's a great topic to get into another point, but amazing way to end that show. I'm so happy I got to witness that in person, this historical moment. Very happy for Cody. Finally finished his story and see what happens next. A new era, fresh new stories. Do we know? I mean, we saw on Raw after Mania, he showed up, Triple H and him interacted in the ring. They had the great video package kind of summing up Cody's story. Is he going to stay on Raw? Is he going to go to SmackDown?
And I haven't checked anything in the last couple of hours of recording this late night on Thursday before SmackDown. Yeah. All we know that I've seen so far for SmackDown is they said Cody and Bayley will be on the show this week.
Okay. Because technically both titles they have been on SmackDown this whole time. So it makes sense. I know there's a draft coming up as well.
End of the month.
I wouldn't be surprised if in the draft, I'm just an early prediction. We can maybe save this for another time. I wouldn't be surprised if Cody and Bayley both get drafted to Raw. So that way they're the champion.
SmackDown?
And have Judgment Day go to SmackDown. Judgment Day, fresh new scenery on SmackDown. They've been on Raw for a long time.
Now, Judgment Day, were they drafted all together last time or separate?
I can't remember. I have to double check. But here's my thinking with Cody and Bayley going to Raw. So that way, when the Netflix deal starts, Cody will be on the Raw brand when that Netflix deal starts. That's my thinking. Because if the draft is in end of April, and let's say the draft doesn't happen again until April 2025, the Netflix deal starts January 2025. So when that starts, Cody can be the face of Raw when Netflix starts. That's
so I just looked it up. Rhea was drafted on her own.
Okay.
And then all the men of Judgment Day were drafted together.
Gotcha. Okay. So
now, I don't know if that's going to change because Damien's got the belt. So we'll see, but yeah.
Okay. So we'll see what happens. The draft comes up end of April, and I assume Raw will get the first pick. So that's how I think Cody would be the number one pick.
Well, then the other thing is they teased heavily on Monday that NXT is going to be pretty involved in this because they showed Ava, Nick Aldis, and Adam Pearce all talking about the draft together. And then they did the whole thing. Now, this is where I was confused. They said Ilya Dragunov has declared for the draft. That confused me a little bit. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, so at Raw after Mania, we saw Ilya.
All NXT wrestlers going to be available? Only ones that want to move up?
Yeah, so Ilya, had a match on Raw against Shinsuke, and then Roxanne Perez also had a match against Indy Hartwell. So it was cool, both NXT champions having appearances on Raw.
And with Ilya, in 2 weeks, he's going to be defending the NXT championship against Trick, which is the week of the draft, I want to say.
Or before, yeah.
And the story there is he told Trick, you can have another shot at my belt. I beat you before, but if I beat you again, you're gone from NXT. So it's either Trick loses and he moves up to the main roster there, or maybe Trick beats Ilya for Ilya's call-up.
Exactly. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. It can go either way, and it will benefit both guys.
And there were some people over the weekend that got the impression that they thought Trick was getting called up soon.
I saw that report too. I thought I was going to see him at Raw after Mania, but now with the stipulation, we could see if Trick Williams wins, then he's the new NXT champion, which I would love to see that play out. Or if he loses, he can get his call up there.
So one last thing, speaking of NXT, maybe, I don't know if this is going to be NXT. Jacob Fatu is signed. That's the word.
I know. We'll see.
Backstage at Mania.
I'm trying to do some digging, man. I was trying to ask around mutual friends, and
they said he was telling people as of last Wednesday. Well, last Wednesday now.
I was briefly hanging out with Jacob and Zilla Fatu at WrestleCon.
You the news too.
Yeah, and so I was like, if I would have known like half an hour earlier, I could have maybe asked Jacob right there. Hey, what's going on, man? Go on, give me the insight. So. Who knows? We'll see what happens. I wish nothing the best for Jacob. I love Jacob Fatu, such a sweetheart. Sorry to break kayfabe. I know he's a monster in the ring, but one of the sweetest guys, nicest guys I know. So I wish nothing for the best for him. And
they say
nothing but success.
Say out of everybody in that family, he may be the best athlete of all of them.
Really? I believe that.
I've heard a couple people say that.
I've been watching him for a long time in person here in the Bay Area. He is such a dominant force and deserves to be seen by as many people as they can. So I hope he does go to WWE.
Now here doing moonsaults off a cage.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Bring it all on. So, all right. On that note, let's start wrapping things up. This was a very long-winded WrestleMania XL recap and review. Wanted to get it out.
It's an XL episode for WrestleMania XL.
Exactly. On that note, let's start wrapping things up. Tim, where can the Kliqsters find you online?
You can find most of my work, Pro Wrestling Unlimited, PW Unlimited. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, if you want to call it that. I still say Twitter.
Yeah.
Threads, I try to post over there when Instagram doesn't log me out and then not let me log back in. Threads is a whole thing on desktop and mobile and whatnot. But then you can also find my personal stuff at Timmy Buddy as well. So, yeah, all over the place, always posting things and trying to do as much as I can.
Absolutely. We'll love it, man. I'm Baby Huey. Follow me on Facebook at Baby Huey Official, Twitter and Instagram at Baby Huey83. For everything else, at In The Kliq on social media, intthekliq@gmail.com. And on that note, let's go home. And that's the bottom line because Huey said so.